process. It may not be the way that today's chips do, but this is the framework that you can work with, looking at the diversity of market. What you can look at is, let's take some examples after we go through a summary of some of these parameters that you need to look at. So if you are a chip designer today, my recommendations of top 7 things that you need to think about as a chip designer. Number 1, look at hardware accelerators. There's not going to be enough compute power to take care of a lot of different computing requirements that you will have. So you need to bring in a lot of hardware accelerators. For example, if you are looking at security, you have an AES engine that's running in hardware. It could even be a DSP, a small DSP that needs to process a lot of the signal processing that you need to do on your sense data. So you need to really look at beyond your main processor or the app processor, what other hardware accelerators that you need to bring in. The second thing that you need to consider is what amount of on-chip flash you are bringing in. The size is important in terms of how much data you need to store, how much data you need to process. You may need to determine the size, but also partitioning is important in terms of you may have different areas depending on your security requirements, depending on what kind of data you're collecting, what kind of data you want to expose, what is data you don't want users to kind of write. You may also have to look at how you want to partition your flash, which is on chip. The third thing is about analog interfaces. Of course, it's very much required, ADCs, DACs, and comparators, but you may want to look at making them programmable, because today you don't know what kind of user interfaces people will use your chip for. So you better have it as very programmable, where users can kind of program your analog interface to match with the sensing that you are trying to do with this chip. The fourth aspect is flexible serial protocol interfaces. Today's chips already have a lot of UARTs and SPIs and a lot of different serial interface protocols. But what we need to probably look at is in terms of their flexibility itself, do they support multiple different combinations of uses, and even looking at having a common platform-like interface, but then making it programmable based on whether you want to use it as a UART or an SPI or a different kind of a serial interface. Instead of having multiple different interfaces, having one as a platform interface and then making that kind of flexible. The other aspect is on oscillators and timers that enable you to do power save. That's again a key requirement. The sixth is about automatic power management. Today a lot of chip companies build in a lot of infrastructure for power management. You bring in oscillators, timers, low power, power gating, and a lot of different techniques are brought in as an infrastructure. But what you really need to look at as a chip designer is how is it actually being used? Have you looked at use cases of how will, for example, an automatic power cycling will happen? And are you really fine-tuned? Are your infrastructure really available to for a user to actually take it through a power cycling in a very efficient way, or you've just thrown in a bunch of pieces which really don't tie well together when you really want to do a power save? So really you have to look at this kind of an automatic power management beyond just bringing in the right infrastructure. Short range wireless connectivity, today we have Bluetooth Low Energy, but beyond that, anything else you need to think of. Beyond the technology, I think the very important piece is the topography in terms of whether it's a single connection, whether you will have multiple connections. You need to support whether your device is going to work as a slave or it's going to work as multiple slaves to multiple devices. So all of these topologies have to be thought through beyond just the technology that you bring in. Let's look at today, some examples of, some of these products in the market that we have today, and see, how some of these parameters that we looked at and how they have probably been considered in these chips. Here is an example of a Freescale KL02 chip, and if you see, there is a Cortex M0 processor, so that takes care of your compute power. There is a 32 kilobytes of flash on the chip, and in terms of interfaces, it's just got a very basic ADC and a voltage comparator. In terms of power management, it's got a low power timer built in, and in terms of interfaces, it's just got a simple low power UART and an SPI. So it's a very basic connectivity chip. It does not bring in any short-range wireless connectivity, so it could be used for some very basic, simple, wearable use cases. Take another example from Freescale, which is a KWOX. If you compare that with the previous chip, suddenly you will see that there are a whole lot of timers that this chip has got. It's got periodic interrupt timers, low power timers, so that enables you to do a lot more power management and also cater to a lot of different use cases. It's got a DAC, which it brought in, a 12-bit DAC, and a lot of new interfaces and more interfaces that have been, like touch sensing, that have been brought in. So again, so this addresses a much wider market compared to the previous chip. Let's take a look at a different company, Silicon Labs, and look at how their chip looks like. So from a basic storage and processing compute power, it's got all the basic elements that you typically have. But if you look at their clock management, they've got a bunch of oscillators that they have brought in, low power oscillators and RC oscillators that they have brought in to address a lot of the low power requirements. And if you see, a lot of their energy management units are also there to enable it more towards a very low power kind of use cases. I was talking about hardware accelerators. You will see here that they have got an AES engine brought in as a hardware accelerator to support a lot of security use cases. A little advanced chip from the same company, you will see the difference is that they've got a lot more timers and a lot more interfaces